Is this video for sailing and entertainment purposes only? You're dang skippy it is.
What advice would you give Amber's future girlfriend?
Good evening.
Simple. Just don't go there.
Did you lie about the person you're with and say it's been two different people and it's not?
I didn't lie. I didn't lie. I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
She would douse herself in perfume sometimes to help any issues, but her hygiene did affect everyone around her, myself, and others' personal belongings, and she did not show concern for any of those things.
You're obsessed with Karina Kaboom.
What's wrong with Karina Kaboom? She's a nice lady.
You're kidding, right?
Squirrels can do mukbangs, that's right. You are also trying to monetize your mukbang.
Hello everybody. In today's video for the low introductory price sale of absolutely nothing, you heard it here last, we are taking a look at part 2 of Casey and Beck speaking out against Amberlynn. Please subscribe to Casey's channel, link down below, and please subscribe to Beck's channel. These two people have really suffered enough through Amber's actions towards them, and I can't say enough about how terrible Casey has been treated, you know, really honestly, like how inappropriately Amberlynn has treated Casey, even in her new live stream. So I want to talk about a few things that Beck has said when they were reacting to Amber's members only live stream, and then we're going to look at part 2 of Casey and Beck speaking out. Amberlynn did a very disgraceful and just inappropriate live stream that was public the other day, and I'm going to get to it. And I just wanted to say one thing. You lied about Beck extensively, and then she even lied about petty drama. She said that she has unblocked everyone she's ever blocked before, and she said she also unblocked me. Wanted to tell you something about that. So in her members only live stream on Tuesday, I didn't mention this because I don't care, and I didn't care, and I didn't believe her, and now we have proof. So she said, she called me out by name and said that, oh, she knows I'm a member or whatever, and oh yeah, like she unblocked me. Here's proof that she didn't. When she had her public live stream, I commented a few times. Go back and try to see if you can see my comments. You won't be able to. Here's proof that I did comment. I commented a few times. She still has me hidden and blocked, and people are telling me that she still has my name, even my name, blocked out in the live stream. Why am I bringing this up? Amber, why is it so important for you to tell your audience petty lies in your live streams? So in the members only live stream, she said that I was unblocked, right? Which I don't care if you block or unblock me at this point. It's petty old news drama. Who cares? But she lied and manipulated her audience. I am blocked in her live streams. When I tried to comment in the public live stream, not only could no one else see it, go and try to see my comments. You won't be able to. But she even blocked out my name, even in the live streams. So do you know why she manipulated and gaslit you like this? Because she wanted you to see her in a wonderful light. Then even lies about Beck, and we're going to get to that. The lies about Beck are just so disgraceful. So we're going to get to that. Everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. I am sharing my own opinions, publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please don't go to their channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. Entertainment purposes only. Also, have you ever wanted to purchase a Kermit? Well, now you can, in my game show host voice. My Kermit was looking at this whole blocking thing and saying, well, Amberlynn should have gotten a Kermit. This is my affiliate link to purchase a Kermit. If you do so when he ships, please let me know so I could be excited for you. All right, this is a little bit of Beck reacting to Amberlynn's live stream. That was members only, not the new one.
For being such a strong Karina hater, she loves to bring her up. She sure does, doesn't she? And the reason I've shared these things is because I told her time and time again, don't talk about me and I will not talk about you. But what does she do? She talks about me. So, alas, here we are.
Okay, so Beck is reacting to Amber's live stream, okay? And it is true that Amber, in my opinion, I'm living rent-free in her head because she doesn't need to talk about me for money, but chooses to pretty much for free, which I love. And there's, again, your point about how Beck is bringing up things about Amber. This is in reference to Beck bringing up things about Amber during the live stream that are true and embarrassing and all that stuff, because Beck has extensively asked Amberlynn to not talk about them, and Amber has continued to. You know, there's something that's really bothering me. I have to say this now. Like, as I'm filming this, because I know I'm going to talk about Amber's live stream in another video, but this is really bothering me. I need to say this now. So, in Amber's new public live stream, she said something about Beck. She said a lot of things about Beck, but there's one thing that she said about them that has bothered me since I heard it, and I know it isn't true, and I know that Amber's manipulating. All right, she pretty much said this in her new public live stream that I would like to respond to, and I cannot wait until Beck responds to. Amber says in her new public live stream that she has never, done something with a new partner unless she was in love or having the feeling of love happening or in a relationship, which we know is a lie. And I would never judge her for it. That's why I don't ever talk about this. Oh, you guys, I'm so upset about what she said about Beck. I need to talk about it now. I would never judge anybody for doing, you know what, right away, because I don't care. And I don't care what Amber does. And plus, half of the stuff that Amber says is a lie, most of it about that topic. We know that that happened immediately with her and Wifey and her and Tommy. The reason that we supposedly know that is because Amber has said that in videos right away, okay? That this happened right away, fine. She said in her new live stream that her and Beck met in April, whatever, they started dating and they were just like together, and like Beck wanted to, and Amber was like, sorry, only in a relationship. And like the next day or whatever, because I could feel the lies. Sometimes my Kermit feels the lies, okay? So Amber's pretty much trying to say that as soon as, she told Beck, oh yeah, only in a relationship, like pretty much immediately the next day or whatever, Beck asked Amber to be in a relationship. You know what that implies, right? Like that Beck was only after that. Yeah, right. Beck has extensively said that they did not want to be in a relationship with you and were not interested in you in that way, and that you pretty much manipulated them into the relationship by saying that you had lots of other people interested in you, and if they weren't going to date you, you would leave. Didn't want to be in a relationship with you and was not after you at all. You pushed your way into their house and they didn't even want to be in a relationship with you. Mind you, Amberlynn continuously told Beck, I have so many other people. If you don't ask me to be in a relationship with you, I'm going to be with other people. The implications are, you know where I'm going with this, right? The implications are coercive things. You understand? Now, I just want to be clear. Amber did not say that Beck coerced them into anything, but that is the implication, and it angered me so much. Amberlynn, you should be embarrassed of yourself, okay? Beck didn't even want to be with you, so they said that they did not want to be in a relationship with you and pretty much like decided to be in a relationship with you because you kept saying that there's other women that want you. So they didn't want to lose you, but they didn't even like you yet. It's just, that is what Amber said in her public live stream, and it upset me because I know that that is not the type of person that Beck is. No one is perfect. Beck is not perfect, but Amberlynn, you should be embarrassed of yourself from petty, ridiculous lies, from lying about petty stuff to lying about this. It's just, it's sad.
And something else, she's saying she was disassociating. How does she think that I felt disassociating through like the entire relationship, She had to have known. I'm not claiming to be all good, but that's the thing. Nobody is all good and say that I wasn't perfect. But she's just refusing to do that at all. I know that she truly believes deep down that she's never done anything wrong to anyone. So, when it comes to reaction channel talk, I don't owe anybody an apology because, they did have some valid criticism and I used it to better myself.
You said you don't owe them an apology. I think you meant they don't owe you.
Yeah, they don't owe me an apology is what I mean. I'm so sorry, everybody. You guys know how I get tongue-tied. Much about Eric and Ricky, but they had their problems with her. She had her problems with them. She also made things very hard on them too. They had a difficult time with her as well. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't the only person in my life that she made suffer.
Yeah, it's been revealed by Beck that your roommates and your friends did not care for you. And you know what? As far as like what Beck is talking about giving apologies to like Zachary Michael reaction channels, in Amber's look, this could be a little bit confusing, but I'm trying to unconfuse, right? That's not even a real word, unconfuse. Beck is reacting to a bit of Amber's members only live stream, and I'm also doing commentary on what I remember from yesterday's Amber's public live stream. That's the screenshot right here from her public live stream. It's both, but you know, it applies, trust me. All right, so Amber said in the members only live, Zach owes Beck an apology, and Beck is saying absolutely not. You know, criticism from reaction channels is okay because I've used it to better myself. All of us are strangers on the internet to Beck. We may be fond of Beck, some of us, and they may enjoy our content, and we may really enjoy each other's, you know, content and personalities. We did not live with Beck. We were never in a relationship with Beck. Zach was never in a relationship with Beck. And I think it's outrageous that Amber wants Zach to apologize to Beck when you haven't even truly taken accountability, Amberlynn. And at the time when you said this, Amberlynn, you did not take real accountability. In my opinion, you still did not, towards, you know, humiliating, torturing, tormenting Beck. We are just strangers on the internet. At the end of the day, just reaction channels reacting to what we see. You owe them your whole life because they saved your life. Oh, by the way, while we're on this topic, something else I remember from Amber's disgraceful public live stream called Breaking My Silence yesterday. I just wanted to talk about this. Hopefully I only got to talk about it once, so please pay attention right now. She said in her public live stream that her and Beck were involved all the time. You understand? And Beck told us years ago that no, they were not. Okay, so she goes into detail, which I will not, thankfully. Y'all can be very, very, very happy. I will not be going into no detail because no, thank you, Amberlynn. With your lies, with your 10 a day. Remember that lie that Amber told that it was 10 a day? It was great. Okay, so she's saying her and Beck were involved all the time. And Beck said before, absolutely, main event didn't happen. Okay, this is my opinion on it. And thank God I will only say this once and we'll move on. I believe that Amberlynn's definition of main events and people being involved is quite different than the rest of us. Amberlynn, read a book, okay? You have continuously lied about a 4-year relationship in that respect, and I don't believe you. No, I do not believe that you were involved all the time because I believe Beck. And here's why I believe Beck. It's not just that Beck doesn't have a history of coming on the internet and sitting there for a very long time and lying like you do. But Beck came on in 2021, all right, very publicly and said that did not happen. Why would a grown adult who doesn't have a history of lying like Beck talk about a 4-year relationship and been like, no? Amber's opinion of what, you know, being involved is quite different than the rest of us. Another thing that I found disingenuous from my favorite YouTuber, Ambi Pookie, can I call you Pookie? Is Amber said literally in her Breaking My Silence public live stream that Beck and encouraged her to lie and led her to lie. Highly, you know, encouraged her to lie pretty much and told her to lie all the time to her audience. Right. I don't believe you. I think Beck had to, in my opinion, had to go along with your stories and your lies to have a roof over their head. You financially manipulated and controlled them. For Amberlynn Reid yesterday in her Breaking My Silence to literally come online and say, you know, I lied because Beck continuously encouraged me to lie to my audience is sad. Amberlynn, you chose to lie to your audience. You haven't been with Beck in how many years? Since 2021? You have lied extensively. Okay, did Beck encourage you to lie, Amberlynn, about wifey being 2 different people for 2+ years? No, that was your lie. Beck actually told us the truth and told us her name right away, and you lied. Said that's not her name. Did Beck lie about your weight loss surgeon? No. The point is, you haven't been with Beck in years and you've lied extensively. I Kermit you not. Amberlynn went on the internet yesterday in her public live stream and said that Beck continuously encouraged her to lie to her audience. No, you did that all by yourself, girl.
She told me I was going to propose. She always said from the beginning that I had to be the one to propose, and that everything was gonna be the way she wanted it to. The wedding colors, the decorations, everything. And she's also said I had to wear a tux. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And she just was dead set on having her way. And once she bought the rings, it was like I kind of felt like I had to. You know, what am I supposed to do? Especially whenever 3 rings showed up and she wanted to be like, oh, she got the wrong size. No, you got the wrong size.
So she did ask for you to do that?
What?
She asked for you to ask her?
To propose? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, she did.
Amberlynn, everybody knows that you bought the rings. You lied about it. You claimed Beck bought the rings. No, they did not. You demanded that Beck propose, even though there was nothing going on between you two. And you wanted to marry somebody that you were not in love with. Make that make sense, because they just took care of you. They were your caretaker, got you everything. I also wanted to say this. In the public live stream, Breaking My Silence, Amberlynn is asked about this. And Amber says that she doesn't know what the person is asking. Somebody asks her. They ask her, they're like, hey, why were there 3 rings bought? Why did you buy the rings? And Amber says, I don't understand. Yeah. Okay, maybe you'll understand a lawsuit from Beck one day. Amber, we all know that you were very much so invested as being seen as the bride. And later on, I believe this is like, I think this is in this video. I got too many videos going on at the same time. Beck even explains, I believe in the live, that they did with Casey, I believe, that Amberlynn needed to have like the right colors for the wedding that they were going to have. It was supposed to be all her colors, and like she was in charge of the whole wedding. Why can't the other person that was going to marry you be having any type of say? It's just, honestly, it's disgraceful, the things that you said, Amberlynn, during that live stream. It is disgraceful. That's all I could say. Everybody here knows that Beck had to propose. Again, you know what was at stake? Shelter. Amberlynn financially manipulated and controlled Beck. If Beck didn't propose, would they still have a roof over their head? I want you to think about it in this way.
That never happened. Me and Amber were not friends. I was only ever around her because I had to be because of Eric and Ricky. And I was friendly with her because I still had stuff at the apartment. I still had mail at the apartment. She still wasn't completely out of my life. And I mean, I knew she was going to do some stuff and talk bad about me on her lives and in her vlogs still. I knew that was coming. I knew it was going to happen. So I knew not to get too close. I knew to keep my distance. But no, I also didn't say, don't tell anybody because I don't want backlash. I never said that.
Right. So Amberlynn addressed this. Okay. This whole thing is about where Amberlynn said that, like, herself and Beck were secret friends after the breakup. And Beck was trying to say that they were friendly. They were very friendly with Amberlynn because of the greater good, which is they still had stuff at the apartment. You heard them say it. They knew that, pretty much the way that I took it, what they were saying, that they knew that if Amberlynn and them were not friends, that Amber was going to just go after them even deeper. It was to keep the peace. So basically, the way that I took it was not like it was a genuine friendship from Beck's side, that Beck was being friendly towards Amberlynn to just keep the peace, get their stuff from the house, to just keep the peace after YouTube and all that stuff. What Amberlynn goes on to say in this public live stream called Members Only, I have the screenshot up, is she shows the supposed text message with Beck. April 17th, 2022. Is this fake? I don't know. Could be, could not be, whatever. Right now, an evil Kermit could text me from July 19th, 2011 and say, hey, my point that I'm trying to make here is that, is this a real text message? Possibly. But, with our favorite girl, you never know. All right, let's get to the point. Basically, what this text message says is that Beck is trying to say, supposedly, if this is really their text message, that it's best that people don't know that we are friends. Amber also exposes Beck in her mind on the Breaking My Silence live stream and says, Beck was lying to everybody. They were saying they had a job, but they didn't. Yeah, I don't care. If that actually happened, that's an understandable thing because they were trying to get their YouTube channel off the ground at that point, and they were still pretty disliked in a way because they were associated with you. If that even happened, but okay. Basically, Amber shows this text message that, in her mind, clearly proves that Beck lied and they were really friends. What this text message is saying is that, it's gonna harm my channel if people think that we are friends. Let's just not tell them. Right, because this actually, Amber, I know, sweetheart, you think you did something there, but I don't think you did. The point of it is, in that moment, Beck is trying to salvage their channel and trying to continue to keep the peace with Amber by being like, yeah, of course we're friends. Let's just not tell anybody. Because they still have things, at Amber's house that they want back, that they want their channel to be like at peace. They didn't want anybody to be, in my opinion, to be talking about them and drama. Sometimes you have to keep the peace by being friendly with somebody that mistreated you and horrendously tormented you for years for the peace. Amber, I know that you think that you proved something. I personally, and I think the rest of the community does not care if Beck was telling us that they were on their way to get a job and had a job and they were just making YouTube work. You left them destitute. They left your house with $100. All right, the rest of this is part 2 of Casey's and Beck's live stream. Again, please subscribe to Casey's channel and to Beck's channel. Let's see about the part 2 of the live.
Like coming across T channels and videos of Amber being mean to Beck for 20 minutes straight. And I would watch these things and I would watch these react channels that I was not allowed to watch while I was with her. These things started opening my eyes and I was just like, oh my God, how I was right here. And I realized I was disassociating through 90% of it.
I'm so
That's
sorry
why
to interrupt you, but
No,
did
you're
you
good.
just say you weren't allowed to watch the reaction channels?
Right. Yeah, no. Like whenever she would watch it, she would just watch it by herself on her laptop. She wouldn't have me watch or anything. No.
Okay, so it seems like Pookie didn't want Beck to watch any of the reaction channels because, when like a lot of people start saying stuff and maybe you never thought about it, maybe she was afraid that, Beck would leave her over it or start seeing things in a different way. For Beck to not be allowed to do stuff. Amber, who do you think you are? I just want to say something to you. Without your money and you being known on YouTube, I don't really think that you would get a lot of social interactions. I just think that this is terrible. You tortured Beck with your ridiculous choosy games. You tortured them. You stole their money. What didn't you do? Now they weren't even allowed to watch reaction channels.
She didn't
Did
want
you
me to
ever
see.
try?
I knew if I would try, she would know because she kept tabs on my phone all the time.
Oh my
God, the control. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And she'd
Oh,
monitor
yeah.
your text messages and stuff?
Oh yeah, she would go through everything.
Oh my
She
God.
knew
I
everything.
can't.
Amber, maybe one day you'll get to learn what it's like to have all of your moves controlled and looked at. Maybe if you're, in a small room all the time and, you have visitors sometimes, but maybe you'll find out what it's like to have every single move controlled, like you were manipulating and controlling Beck. Why did you need to see all of Beck's text messages? Why? Honestly, this is that word that begins with the letter A and sounds like a moose or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Well, not really. It doesn't actually sound like a moose. You know what I'm trying to say? This is worse than mistreatment. Amberlynn, TikTok, okay? Karma is a Kermit.
Go through none of her stuff
Of
because
course.
she said she had private stuff on there in her private journal that she wrote in every day. And I was never allowed to see what was in that journal. Never. and she kept it for years.
So it's
She
a
probably
rule for
still
thee
keeps
and
it.
not for me. Did they monitor your text messages to where it's like, well, what did you mean when you told her this? What did you mean when you like sent this? What do they mean when they're telling you that? Did they do that as well? Or did she do that as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like that was actually what our last
Oh.
huge fight was about, was because she went through my text messages with Eric and Ricky and was mad that she wasn't a part of that group text,
chat.
which we had for years. Even before we knew her, we had that group chat.
Besides being unfair and controlling and ridiculous, what exactly is so interesting about like someone's family messaging them? You know, I don't think it was anything in particular, like Beck's family messaging them or Eric and Ricky. Like, who cares? Like, Amber just wanted to be in control all the time. Isn't it amazing, Amber? Now all the control has been removed from you. And how come no one was allowed to look at your private journal? Dear Diary. Okay, Dear Diary, Amberlynn actually addressed this in her Breaking My Silence live stream. She basically proves that Beck supposedly, okay, read one of her journal entries. Amberlynn, how does this prove that like Beck was allowed to read all your journals? Also, this is called semantics. This is a vocabulary channel. This is called Amberlynn Reid is very much so interested in language and manipulating language. So Beck's statements were that, yes, they were not allowed to read anything you wrote in your journals. They were not allowed to look at your phone, but they had to give up all of their private information to you and all of the, all of the information on their phone. Amber does admit to being controlling of Beck's time and in general, and did say that, yes, she did read Beck's phone. But when the issue comes up to like, hey, did you not like allow like Amberlynn to look at your phone or whatever, she just says, listen to what I'm about to tell you. This is important. Amber shows a supposed diary entry, right, from one of her journals. Girls, it's so exciting, girls. We're finally seeing the mundane boredom of Amber's journals. I feel like a girl of 2020 again. Anyways, Amber shows a journal entry in which she claims, and she wrote down and she says and claims that she allowed Beck to read one journal entry. Even if that's true, that doesn't handle the issue of why were you staring and looking at all of Beck's, messages, and why did you invade Beck's privacy by demanding to watch all of and look at all of Beck's text messages and, going through their phone, and would not allow them to look at yours. And also, please remember this. This is super important. Just because you write something down in a journal doesn't make it true. I could open up a journal and write, Dear Diary, Evil Kermit owes me $75 million. Is that true? No. He owes me some rent. My point is, anyone can write anything in a journal. It doesn't make it true. What's so dangerous about Amber and her behavior is that she could write, for example, Beck read this journal entry, and it's all in her head, and maybe she made it up, okay? By the way, let's just give her the benefit of the doubt, because I could totally see what people are going to say. Oh, well, why would she make up this journal entry from 2021? Let's just say that it's true that Beck forgot that Amberlynn read, let them read one journal entry. This doesn't prove and doesn't explain why you went through their phone and would not allow them to go through yours. What I noticed in this members live streams and what I noticed in the public live streams is Amberlynn will not answer the questions that she doesn't want to answer. She never answered that one. Anyone, listen to what I'm about to tell you. Anyone that is writing in a journal entry is writing from their perspective. And could they lie to their journal, to the pen and paper? Yeah.
And so she was pretending to be me to them, demanding that we put her in that chat. And they were like, well, why don't we just make one for all four of us? And she's like, no, I want to be in that chat. Because she thought that if she got access and got added to that chat, that she would be able to see everything that we had talked about prior. So she wanted to be able to go through it as much as she wanted for years, just to see, because she was so dead set that everybody constantly talked about her behind her back. That's the one thing that sparked me wanting to definitely leave her.
During Destiny's, like when she came out with the tea the first time, they were on a live. Well, she wasn't going to talk about me. And because everybody knows nobody knows what Beck has put me through. And I don't know. Everybody has been trying to figure out what about.
Me too. I'm like, what did I put you through? besides literally taking care of
I
you,
love that.
bathing
Girl,
you,
same.
feeding you. Like,
How sad. How absolutely sad. They're talking about that time when Destiny had called up Amberlynn and Amberlynn was saying, "You don't know what Beck put me through." Listen, what I believe is that Amberlynn didn't like it when Beck used to spend time with their family. And every time Amberlynn was left alone in the house, like a regular adult, basically she didn't like it. She wanted everything to be me, 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 Marsha, 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 Amber, Amber, Amber. So basically she was upset that all of the attention was not on her. And I think that's what she means, what Beck put me through. Amberlynn, what did Beck put you through?
what did I put you through?
Ugh.
I went and got you McDonald's anytime you wanted. I went to the store for you every day. I did everything you told me to do 24/7. It's like, what do you mean? What did I do?
To like kind of touch on Beck's thing with Amber controlling the phone. She did that once, actually twice with me. I had like a little group thing on this site that went away. It was like this little anime site, and she wanted to be a part of the group, and when people wouldn't agree with her, she would be like, "Oh, I don't like them, you know, they need to be out of this group thing." That thing didn't last. It ended up tanking because it was the early 2000s. But the one thing that I remember is that one day I was getting ready for school, getting ready to go to school, and I went to school, and my friend came up to me pissed, extremely mad, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "Did you give Amber my number?" And I was like, "No, I did. Never would I ever do that to you." Like, no, because I knew how they were. This was another friend, and I knew how they were. And when I got home from school that day, I asked Amber, "What, like, did you get in my phone and get their number to text them?" And she admitted she did. She went in my phone, got their number, and texted them bad stuff just to drive them away from me.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly just think that she wants to isolate her partners to herself. She doesn't want
Oh,
her
yeah.
partners to have anybody on the outside.
Because if somebody on the outside actually sees and takes a good look at the relationship that Amber is in with their family member or friend, they could say something like, "This is really unhealthy. You should leave." Like Beck had their family have an actual intervention. This nonsense that she pulled with Casey with the phones and the looking at the numbers, like, Amberlynn, grow up. And before you tell me that you were like a teenager when you dated Casey, I don't care, because you did the same thing with Beck when you were an adult. And my personal opinion, if she moved in with Tommy, she'd do the same thing to Tommy.
So when we first started talking, and all my friends were in relationships, so I was like, "Oh, you know, what am I doing wrong?" As a teenager, you know, that social pressure.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, it was fine. It was like normal conversation. Again, we weren't in person. You know, I met her on Moco Space. All of it, like in the like it took her no time at all, like towards the beginning, to start getting manipulative. As an adult, I see every time she tried to, like, because I wanted to talk to her on the phone because I never really got to, and I was like excited every single time. And she would hold those as to get me to either like be home and like not do anything. That way I was like waiting, and she would always say like, "Well, I'm sleeping in, you know, I'm sleeping in the not living room." Like she said the kitchen at one point at her foster parents' house before they built her own room. And she's like, "I can't because they'll get mad. It's late." And as an adult, I'm like, I wasn't. As a kid, I was like, "Oh, okay, you know, parents, whatever." As it went on, it was just like more of, you know, what are you saying on your MySpace? Why are you saying that on your MySpace? You know, I want you to say that you're with someone. You know, what are you doing? Why can't you text me at school?
If Casey didn't say text me at school, I would think this is just Amber's everyday life. She treated every single girlfriend she's ever had the same way. Destiny when she was an adult, Beck. The thing is, there's certain girlfriends we are not hearing from currently. Doesn't mean we won't hear from them again or in the future. But Amberlynn has not changed at all. This manipulative, controlling situation type nightmare is never going to end. People just need to stop being with her.
You know, my phone had a bad battery, so it would just die at school. Then I started to, when I, you know, as I was with her, developed anxiety really, really badly. She admitted to me with text messaging and everything like that she cheated on me with a girl in the hot tub. Like she was in the hot tub and she made out with, you know, her school buddy, like not once, a few times. And she told me over text message.
For sure, like she would I get it. She would be so flirty with everybody. But like the second she thought that you were being flirty or anything, like, and I wasn't ever a flirty person, but it's like if she would be like if I had a female friend, do you have a crush on her or something? And I'm like, no, I'm not like you.
Lynn has always cheated on the majority of the girlfriends that she had. She was talking to Wifey while she was still with Beck before they broke up. Amberlynn admitted this. Amber has always cheated, and possibly the only person she didn't cheat on was Destiny. Destiny will always be the one that got away. As you heard, basically Casey was cheated on. Amber is a cheater. If you want to know all the physical and emotional cheating that she has done, it's all on her channel.
But
I think
there's
she's
just no
stuck in
breaking
being
it.
a teenager. She's never ever gonna grow out of it.
But she's told me she's went to a lot of foster homes, and I don't, I don't have proof whether she did or she didn't.
Yeah.
But I know that from an early age she did start to go because of, her parents. But I know more so about the one that she remained at until she aged out, until she moved to Oklahoma.
And that's the one that like built her rooms and paid for her phone and took her to Disney World and stuff, correct?
Yeah.
Wait, took her to Disney World. She told me that she had to stay home in the garage while the house got defogged while they went to Disney World.
No.
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 Great. Amberlynn Reid lied about her foster care experience. Let's have a moment of silence for the surprise to set in. The moment is over. Of course she lied. I don't believe anything she says about any experiences that she has. So, I myself heard Amberlynn say that her foster mom, her foster parents took her to Disneyland, Disney World. Who cares? There was not a Kermit in sight. And meanwhile, back on planet Earth, she told Beck that she was left behind and was not taken to Disney World. Does the fun ever start? Amber, are all these lies coming home to roost for you? Why do you lie about random stuff? By the way, Amberlynn addressed this also in her public live stream on Breaking My Silence, and what she did is amazing. So I've talked a lot about how people manipulate by giving you extra information, extra victim information, meaning like Amberlynn pretends to be the victim for, a few minutes and gives you extra information. Let me tell you something. When a person gives you extra information you did not ask for, they're trying to mislead you. Just asked and answered, just ask a question, answer it. This is what Amber said about her live stream. In her live stream, okay? So she says that she never told Beck that she was not allowed to go to Disneyland. She said that she never said that, okay? And this is her proof. Out of nowhere, she goes like this during her public live stream. Oh, well, something happened to my foster parents' house, and my brother went to stay at a friend's house. My foster parents went and they stayed at a hotel, and I stayed in the garage. Amber, what does that have anything to do with you going to Disneyland or not? She never finishes that thought in the public live stream. She gives you unnecessary information for you to see her as the victim that stayed in the garage while the foster parents were living it up in the hotel and the brother was at a friend's house. Guess you didn't have a friend to stay with. Why didn't you stay with your, it's like, Amber, what do you want from us? Like, this is how it feels like to me. It feels like she constantly blames her audience for things that happen to her. And I know most of you will agree. What does that story of you staying in a garage, at least you had a roof over your head, okay? What does that story have anything to do with you telling Beck that you never, you didn't get to whatever, some lie about Disneyland? Amber says that she always went to Disney World or Disneyland and that didn't happen. And then shares this unnecessary poor me story. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is manipulation. Because when a person gives you extra information that you didn't ask for, that has nothing to do with the situation, they're trying to mislead you.
Whenever I was like, stop talking about me or I'm going to go, I'm going to sue you, which I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to shut her up. And she was just like, well, if you don't talk about me, then I won't talk about you. But if you talk about me, I'll sue you too. And I'm just like,
don't worry, girls. Suing takes lots and lots and lots of money and emotional intelligence, and Amber's 2 out of 2, right? If Beck had the funds, I believe that definitely they can follow it through because Beck is very emotionally intelligent, and I think that the only person that has a case here is Beck. And remember, Ambi, what you say on the internet matters, like you told us. So just remember, what you say on the internet matters. That's right, Ambi. Amber, why are you always threatening to sue people? I don't care that you got a lawyer. First, somebody has to defame you. You took Beck's money.
Whatever. But then she wouldn't stop talking about me.
She sent me a whole bunch of messages trying to get me to take my video down when I put it up. A whole bunch. And she's like, I took down mine, so you need to take down yours. And at that point, when she did all that, like, I was a whole different person. I already been through a ringer with her.
You know, something else that always really confused me is if you had supposedly done any of that, then why was she even trying to contact you after the fact? Especially to ask you about, you know, honestly, that should have been my first clue right there. Like, no sane person would do that.
So what at first was the thing that made you go, okay, let's give it a try kind of thing?
For me, it was really just like, you know, a friendship. And she was funny and somebody to talk to. And she was very easy. And that's because I realized that now she was masking me to make me comfortable, to make me go, oh, I can really connect with this person. But then once we actually got together, it's like, you know, I started seeing we really didn't have anything in common.
I think Amber treats people the way that she thinks they want to be treated before she gets what she wants. Think about that. Everything is a manipulation. Everything is a lie. I've met people like Amberlynn. That's why I can see right through her. And I can tell you that people like Amber will tell you exactly what you need to hear. They know what you want to hear. They know what you need to hear. They will tell you exactly what you want and need to hear. And once they have you, once they got you, it all turns around. You see the real them.
I didn't have a lot of friends. Literally, the only friends I had was Eric and Ricky. I didn't go out to the bars. I didn't have dating sites and stuff like that, you know. So it's like I met her by chance and I started making this friendship and getting this connection with her. And it's like, well, you have to date me or I'm getting out the door.
Can you imagine how different Beck's life would be if they never met Amber? If you put yourself in that situation and say, how different would my life be if I never met this ex or that ex? It's really something to think about. I have to say that obviously Beck is in a much better place now with a wonderful fiance and a bright future, but still I have to say, like, obviously, yes, the things that Beck has been through and the things that everybody has been through has clearly led them to where they are today. But I don't think there was a reason for all the suffering that Beck went through with Amberlynn. I just don't. And I think that they would have been way better off without Amber.
Like, I've never felt this way in my life. I honestly, ever since I was little, had this deep rooted feeling that I would just never really truly be happy. So that's why I just let myself have these awful partners, because Amber wasn't my only awful partner. And it's just like really embarrassing to be tied to her, because I had a very, very good high school friend contact me not too long ago who was like, I've kind of known about this for a while. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. It's not that bad anymore. It's just more or less like I was embarrassed of the situation I was in back then and how she made me look. Like, I know she was really, really on making me have the worst angles possible. Just trying to make me look bad. And then
the way it's affected me, especially after the allegations, it just like, okay, I dated someone who had an ex, who really didn't like that she was dropping him because she was dating me, right? So he Googled my name and brought up all of this, and sent it to her. And she knew about it in a way. Like, I after all this came out, a lot of people started to recognize me, and it was surreal because the one I dated before would kind of throw this in my face. She didn't want me to talk about any of this that was going on. I didn't want to talk about any of it was going on either.
Fortunately, people are going to be judged by the lies that others spread about them on the internet. And I can promise you that that is unfortunately the truth. People go, and because they're unhappy with themselves and because they're just miserable people themselves, they lie about good people. They lie about people that have never actually done the lies and the terrible things that they lie on the internet and say that they did. And I've seen that many, many times. And then it affects the other person's life permanently. I've seen that so many times. People, like, when you go and you make up a story like Amber made up publicly and you post it on the internet and you don't delete it, or it's just like permeates the internet, that really affects the person's life. I don't think a lot of people really understand or have been in Casey's situation. And I can tell you that if you've ever been in a similar situation to Casey, where somebody creates a story about you and says like that you're involved in some, I don't know, that you're like committed a crime you didn't commit, or that something is happening to you with the law that it's not happening and never did, something where like you did something terrible like Amber said about Casey and you never did it. The thing is, this affects you permanently, which is why I think that Amberlynn should have been sued. And worse than that, I believe that one day she's going to actually find herself in a very controlled environment where maybe people can visit her like mommy. That's just my opinion, not a fact. But I really think that unless you have been through things that Casey has been through, it's astoundingly like terrible. It just ruins a person's life when somebody creates a lie that other people believe, and it's permanently on the internet. Even if they delete the video, it's permanently on the internet.
Like, but she would really kind of throw it in my face of like, well, you don't understand how many messages I get from people because of that whole Amber situation you went through. It's like, excuse me, this part of my life only stays here. My job doesn't know about it. She really, really put a red target on my back because of this.
Many other people has she done this to. And by the way, to be fair, Amberlynn Reid is not the only person that has ever done this on the internet. There are so many like just awful people that have done this to people that were completely innocent, and it has not just put a target on their back, but it has affected them from getting jobs and, really living their life to the fullest.
Having that on you at all, even if only one person believes it, is just so awful and detrimental.
This will always be there. So will my video. So it goes two ways.
Did you ever
luck.
try and warn Jade about any of it?
I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, she's just going to have to learn and find out for herself. But there was no way she didn't know. I swear that she had to have known who Amber was before reaching out or anything. She had to have. I think she knew what she was getting herself into. I just think she didn't know how bad it was going to be, and then realized that it wasn't worth it, and she bailed too.
So the amazing thing about this is that Amberlynn lied about this. Wifey did know who Amberlynn Reid was. Amberlynn came on her live stream in 2021 and said, well, Wifey had no idea who I was, which I said right away is a blatant lie because Amber at the time had 60,000 followers on Instagram. Come on. She knew. So then Amber lied about it and then admitted, oh yeah, well, yeah, she knew who I was. Of course she knew who you were. Amber, without your infamy on YouTube, I don't think you would get girlfriends. I just don't. Not as easy as you do right now, because honestly, and here's the only reason I'm saying this, the way that Amber treats people is deplorable, horrible, awful. Any word you could use, it's just terrible. And I think that you being quote unquote single speaks for itself. I think that she's talking to someone, or possibly Tommy, but my personal opinion is that she's never going to end up in a successful relationship. All relationships will end because of how she treats people.
I don't know too much. All I know is that at one point she did admit to Amber that she knew before, but she didn't say much about it. She didn't say how she knew or anything like that. So I'm saying, if she's saying that she knew a little bit, then she definitely had to know everything. Like I know that she had told Amber herself that she had commented or something. Like, I know she was in one of the lives at one point, and that's how people picked up on her. Everything had to revolve around her. Everything. Even if it was like something going on in my family's. Oh, we got to make sure that there's a spot for her, somewhere that's comfortable. She doesn't like that kind of music. Can we play this kind of music? That sort of thing. It had happened, like, it always happened in the car, like, 9 times out of 10, it was her music being played. Every now and then, she'd let me play mine, but it was usually hers being played. But, yeah, like, at get-togethers and stuff, she always wanted to be the one in control of the music we were listening to, the games we were playing, like, she had to make all the choices. It was like that
Right.
24/7. What Amber wants to do.
So ridiculous. I think that what Beck was talking about earlier is true a lot. And I don't think everybody, but a lot of her relationships, Amber's relationships was with kind individuals, people that were docile, sweet, easily led, and just unfortunately were taken advantage of by Amberlynn. She took advantage of, Casey, took advantage of Crystal, took advantage of Beck. I don't think she was able to take advantage of Destiny, and I don't think she was able to take advantage of Wifey, and certainly not of Tommy. But the majority of the partners were very, very sweet and kind and just like easily led to be manipulated like this. Like, the facts speak for themselves. Like, it is, I've never, and I've been doing this for way over a decade, I've never seen, like, I tell you that I've never seen, like, ever since I've really, especially once I started making drama videos, but even before then, I don't know of anybody who's all of their exes are exposing them all the time because they treated them so poorly. Like, your music had to be on, and there always had to be a space for you and Beck's family. Like, why? Why do you think, Amberlynn, that you are so important? And do you realize that the way that you have treated people is the reason that you are currently alone and will end up this way more than likely unless you change, and we know you won't change. All right, that's about it for today's video. I want to thank you so much for watching it. Please go check out Casey's full live stream and definitely subscribe to his channel. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments and dislikes down below. Check out a similar video that's popping up here on a similar topic. My plan is to continue to talk about her live that I didn't talk to you about. I just wanted to get out the most outrageous accusations against Beck. All right, thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.